welcome to week whatever. I think this is week 3 of gesture drawing. Today we're going to be covering shape and also a little bit of color that you're going to be using to define your shapes, which will help you kind of have some more fun with making interesting pages of gesture drawing. The primary exercise we're going to be doing this evening, I'll do a couple quick demos of it, so you can follow along at home. And I may actually just get started right away on it, because it's better if I just jump right into showing it to people than beat around the bush on it. So I'm going to do focus on my screen real quick. But the first of the exercises is there's an outside-in exercise and an inside-out way to go about this. The outside-in is you start with like a masked shape. Oh, hang on one second. You start with a masked shape of color that kind of contains the area of the pose, and then the inside-out one, you start with some pretty well-defined shapes, and then you fill in the negative space with some color, kind of like this, to kind of make the pose pop some more. And you might go back with the other tool that you have, maybe sharpen up some of the lines or something, or add some additional definition here and there, and so on. Maybe even take it a little further and add some like additional details or something. Whatever you want to do with that. But the primary exercise we're going to be doing this evening is outside in or inside out shape drawing from the gestures. The outside in is this, where you start with like a, let's say like that, there's that pose up top there that I've got on screen right now. Instead of starting by drawing the figure, you're going to mass in the area of space that the figure takes up in the simplest way possible. Like this. Like I'm paying attention to where the hands are going out to, making kind of this massed in shape, canopy shape that I fill in like this. And you can do this traditionally too. I would suggest ballpoint pen for your thinner line, and some kind of marker or pastel that you can draw over for this. You do that, and then you take, let's say, thinner line. Yeah, let's make it like dark blue for this. Then after using that to contain the area that your pose takes up, you go back in through and fill the pose in there, in the space that you drew. And try to keep it really simple. This isn't the best example of this exercise, but I'm going to be doing more of this evening too, so you'll get to see more of what it looks like when I get more warmed up. But the basic idea is something like this, where you start with a mass of color, and then you take another darker, thinner line, usually like a ballpoint pen or something like that, and then go over the top of the mass with your figure. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a warm-up session of using this technique, although you don't necessarily have to use this technique. I would suggest maybe picking 2 colors to start with for this first round. You can maybe vary it up if you want to. I would encourage people to just play with colors and see what kind of colors sort of fit the mood of color combos, fit the mood of the different poses we're going to do. But I'm going to give us, let's say, 3-minute poses, because I think that would be enough time for people to kind of warm up to wrapping their heads around this exercise. But also, someone had a question before the class began of even covering what gesture is. I'm not going to go over that in huge detail this time, because it would be a lot of repeating myself when we just got to jump right into this exercise and just get right in with drawing. But I do have a previously recorded video of mine where I do explain what gesture is, and I'm going to link that in both Discord and regular chat. But here is the link to it in this Twitch chat, and I'm going to put the link to it in Classroom chat in the Discord. So I'm going to put the reference as focus on our main screen right now. All right. So maybe I should put on something on the left there, or should I stretch the gesture for the whole screen? I think that's enough space for the gesture drawing app. I'll get rid of part of this. 1 second. Just change the wallpaper to something pleasant back there that's not too distracting. There we go. That should work for now. I might put something over there during one of the other sessions during this, but for these warm-ups right now, I think this should be about enough space. Just gotta adjust that a bit. All right, let's get started. We're gonna do first 25-minute session of poses, 3 minutes each. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes, and that's starting now.
So try using the technique I described. I'll do a little demo down in the corner here. Try to make it as big on the screen as I can. And my little postage stamp corner on the screen. I'm starting with like this kind of bean body right here, or this bean for the that's containing the shape of everything. And put a little head with a cross hair on it in there. Sort of work my way down the figure. So I will touch a little bit on what gesture is during this class for the people that are kind of new to this. Gesture is the overall underlying impression of something complex from the natural world. Gesture is the guts of a good drawing that keeps it from looking stiff and robotic, and basically like creates the illusion of weight and action and form. It creates the illusion of weight and action and like form moving through space. And it's better described in that video that I linked in chat in more detail, but your goal should be to combine gesture with construction and balance the two. His gesture helps you describe 3D forms. Structure helps you describe 3D forms and how things are built. Gesture links them all together and gives them purpose and intent. In this class, we focus on gesture, but we do integrate shape in with that. And so this class session is about a particular type of shape, the overall shape around the space of the figure. We're going to be doing a lot shorter poses of these as we get more warmed up this evening, by the way. We'll probably might even do 1-minute versions of these. It's possible to do 30 seconds of this exercise too. So you think this guy's a bad pose to do for a warm-up, but I'll stick with him. Sometimes it's good to stick with the curveballs that the gesture drawing out gives you. The exercise we're doing here is actually a very common animator's life drawing exercise. You'll see people from Disney and Pixar doing this. Or if you go to an animation figure drawing class in LA, they'll have you do exercises like this. The use of color in this is also supposed to kind of break you out of your comfort zone a bit, because if you're used to not using color in your stuff, if your eyes get kind of jaded to doing like the same like black and white figure drawing studies constantly, doing something like this that changes it up can really like break you away from visual monotony and kind of open your eyes up to be more receptive to processing information about the figure you hadn't really paid attention to before. Sometimes doing curveball lessons like this is really beneficial. Although this one isn't really a curveball lesson. This one is actually a really essential meat and potatoes exercise for a lot of animators and character designers. But if you're used to doing traditional figure drawing, it's a bit of a curveball. Made the feet a bit short. So I'm going to try to go a little bit more sweepy with this next one. The name of the game here is you want to kind of start out kind of feeling yourself out a bit, but as you get more used to what you're seeing, you can start making more simplified decisions in broader strokes of what you're seeing up there, and try your hand at stylizing things. So it's partly a stylization exercise for like designing a pose. So for this pose, I'm going to lean heavier into the stylization end of things. Just to see what happens if I try things this way. I'm going to want to try to resist the urge to Control Z, even though it's like ridiculously reflexive for me. Yeah. Because part of the name of the game, if you're doing this traditionally, you have to commit to the lines. So if you make a mistake, you either have to go over it again, kind of like what I did, or find some creative way of addressing it, like I might darken in this area now that I've moved the leg over that way. Oops, I don't want to use this guy. That was a good one. And as you get more warmed up with this technique, you'll be able to like start playing with it in more specific ways. Like I'm trying to move in the direction of like wedging giant shapes together. Let's sort of catch the overall posture. It's going to take me several false starts to kind of get into it though. Like I might be overcomplicating my shapes here, for example. I did a Control Z there because I was using the wrong brush size. I'm going to try to generally avoid doing that though. One of the cool features of doing this exercise is if you start getting good results, you have a pretty attractive looking page that you can include in a portfolio, and as a portfolio supplemental material potentially. As far as like creating some interest with like use of color goes anyway. It does come down to drawing quality in the end, obviously. I'm also drawing very big on the page right now. I'm still getting warmed up, but whoops, we don't want to use this one. There we go. I'm drawing very big on the page, but you should maybe try to make them smaller. I'm going to try to do that actually on my future ones here going forward. Good place to start when you're establishing your figure within this is usually the head or the tilt of the shoulders and the hips. Something like that. Made the head a little small, now he's going to have to come up in size a bit. That's okay, just roll with it. I'm committing to line here. For this next pose, I may switch it up to the inside out approach. I ideally want to bounce between the two. One of them lets me pay more attention to how I'm constructing the figure, so I don't get as sloppy, and I can get more warmed up. So I'm coming into this a little bit rusty because I had an off day where I was sick on Tuesday. So I'm coming into this well rested, thankfully. So I'm feeling pretty good about this session so far. I'm just not as in tune as I would be if I'd had time to practice. That's okay, it's like any other thing. Pick yourself back up if you have an off day. Sometimes you need to rest, you're only human. We get sick, we have days we need to make a clean break from whatever it is we're concentrating on learning. This isn't cram. Art shouldn't be treated like cram school, in my opinion, because that's a terrible way to learn. Should be diligent about your studies, but the cram school mentality is a great way to absorb a lot of information for a test and then forget it immediately after you use it at the test. Like, people need time to breathe and grow and be human and stuff. Like, if you cram, you get very diminishing returns on what you're learning and can burn yourself out, destroy your ability to learn. The people who are able to absorb crazy amounts of information are people who are really well rehearsed at being able to pace themselves so they don't get burned out. And that's a tough balance to achieve. You've got to really figure it out through trial and error sometimes. Trial and error and tips from artists or other people who are experts at how to pace out your learning process. I'm a fan of periods of intense practice with well-paced rest, and the well-paced rest cannot be underestimated as part of the learning process. Because sleep time and de-stressing time is where your brain encodes that information and gets mentally dexterous with it. In the case of artists, I didn't have enough time. Oh, I made the legs a little too long, and I didn't have enough time to really go into this. I did one of the common digital artist mistakes where I put a lot of attention to the upper body, not so much attention to the lower body, and the lower body wound up getting really long. And I was also going way slower than I should have for the purposes of this inside-out drawing. I'm still getting warmed up. So I'm going to try to keep it a little simpler this time, so I can keep track of proportions in the 3 minutes I have a little bit better. So what I'm talking about with the outside in is you do something like a little along these lines. And then you surround it, the negative space around it. Oops. With this stuff. And you can make your drawing pop, and you can use this to kind of cut into areas too, or imply shapes that you didn't necessarily draw the first pass. And I might, let's say, go back in again with something like this. Add something to the interior. What you get, even though it's a rough loose drawing, is something that pops a little more than it would if you just did a basic gesture drawing. Oops, skip that. There we go. So for this, just think about like really simple shapes for the exterior of the form. I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between inside out and outside in this evening, depending on which one I feel I want to do for a pose. trying to think of how much more I can simplify what's going on there with this. Now that I got that, I'm going to try this. One of the principles I'm going to be using doing these is a principle called straights against curves, which is where you get like a straight line and you have a curved line alongside it. So I like what I'm doing here. This is kind of a curved line here, but there's two major curves on that side. I could have done this as like a purely straight form, but try experimenting with that when you're doing these. Like figure out which side of the shape that you're drawing is the straight, which side will be the curve when you stylize it, like so. Maybe I'll just do this. Just think of the figure in really simple shape terms. Like even simpler than what I'm doing here, because I'm still getting warmed up. Oops. Skip that. I queued up my mega folder, which has like a ton of random stuff for that session. I'll be queuing up more specialized stuff as we get further in here. Alright, so we'll just do this last guy. Okay, Google, stop. We'll just do this last pose here before we take a 5-minute break. Well, this guy I can really show off a little bit clearly how you can use this technique, because like you can simplify this guy's pose down to basically a triangle for starting shape. What I'm doing. I'm going to keep things really loose when I do this interior one now. Let's get like kind of the torso box in here a little bit. Get some of the waist and get some of the thigh back there. Quite get the box quite right, but it was enough for me to kind of play with it a bit. Coming back through with another dark line. go. I'll pause on this guy. We're going to be going on a 5-minute break. Okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes. Okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes.
All right, 5 minutes. Starting now.
So me just getting still kind of warmed up into the technique a bit. There's the outside, there's the inside out approach. A couple examples of this when I was doing warm up. Some warm up invented figures I was using. For this break, I'll kind of maybe illustrate a little bit of the straights against curve idea. Like, you can use straights against curves in situations like this, for example, the torso stretching on that side. Then you might use straights on this side. Or like, say you have an arm that's outstretched like this. You might simplify it like that. Like, here, let's see here. Like, this elbow bend here that goes like that, and then the other side of the arm is more curvy, like more like this. Doesn't always have to be the case. You can do kind of two curved parallel lines like this. Like, you don't always have to use straights against curves, but to create a sense of contrast, it can kind of be helpful. So if you're kind of lost as to what to draw for the interior, never fear. You can use a circle, connect it to a torso like this. That's just like a kind of almost a flower sack sort of thing. You might do a center line on it. And then your limbs, your legs are just kind of stick figure bendy pieces in the positions of the limbs. Something like that. And that'd be something really simple for you to stick with. That's actually the way that Glenn Vilppu usually teaches his gesture drawing, along those lines. Although the way I'm doing these, there's a little bit more kind of how animators will sometimes draw like anatomical figures that they're animating. Before, like, they put on all like the other details and stuff. This is how they draw when they're doing it rough, or when they're doing the anatomical figure in rough animation. You can also do this if you want to take it up a notch. Instead of using stick figure lines for the limbs, you use a double line approach, like so. I normally would be taking my break time right now, but I'm trying to ground people a little bit more, and also I'm trying to get a little bit more warmed up. Yeah, like, really good example of straights against curves here. Okay, Google, stop. Like an elbow bend, stuff like that. Yeah, hope some of that kind of helps. So we're going to move into. Actually, want us to do these quicker. So I'm gonna have us do these next set as this next set as 2s, and try to keep using the method that I was showing you of like massing in a big swatch of color and then doing a gesture of the figure on top of it. So I'm going to use a different color for my base this time. Maybe I'll try to alternate between them as I do more of these. I'm going to try to plan out a page of these guys and do them a particular way. So for this, I'm deciding that the positions of the limbs are a little important for this. So I'm going to start with them, and then I'm going to kind of guesstimate about where I think the head is. Kind of simple ovoid shapes for the body. So I'm going to stylize the legs like this. I only got 2 minutes to do this, so I got to be quick about these decisions, don't I? Alright, so I'm going to switch it to, let's say, pink. This next one. I'm going to decide on this one that the shoulder tilt would be the first thing I would want to kind of establish for this. Shoulder and hip tilt. I'm going to use a very simple body inside this interior space here. I'm glad you enjoy being in the classroom, Cheflin Cheesy. Not enough time to finish that, so I just got to move on. Maybe do this one yellow. So figure drawing will be on this Friday again. We'll be doing longer poses this time. We're going to actually be doing some 25-minute lay-in poses using the mannequin forms that we were going over last week, except this time we'll have more time to really sit down with them and do something a little bit closer to what we'll do for like our real lay-in drawings. Like that's the direction that the Monday class and the Friday class are moving. We're going to be moving in the direction of doing longer poses. We'll do like shorter poses to warm up usually, but then we will do very long poses. Let's see here. Oh wow, I only got 20 seconds to do this. I concentrated so much on the thing, so I'm gonna have to make use of my time to make a very simple gestural figure. That's okay. Try light blue for this one. I want people to try to have fun with this. Like, don't get too self-conscious about making a good or bad drawing. You can strategize a bit, but I want you to try to like observe the overall shape of things first. That's the important part. Like, try to find some kind of a strategy for observing the overall form, even if you kind of get it off a bit. Like, you're not going for accuracy, you're trying to design. This is a design exercise in a lot of ways. So you have to make judgment calls in the time that you have to like really simplify things. Maybe just using just a line, kind of like what I'm doing right here for the legs or the limbs. So I got kind of 4 colors here. I might do a third color. I'll do orange. No, I might do a 5th color, I'm sorry. I'll do orange. I'm going to maybe try to see if I can fill up this entire page this evening with nothing but these. I'm going to try to budget my time a little better. Like, ideally I want to be done with like this stage within the first 30 seconds. going off the page a little bit, but that's okay for this. Made my decision, I have to stick with it. I have so much time to make these. Part of this exercise is to train you to make quicker, more confident decisions. So if you make a decision, you got to stick with it, even if you're not too happy with it. I think I'm going to shrink that guy though, because he is a little bit large on the page. I'll try to keep my poses somewhere in the this ballpark, but I have to speed up on this guy. So let's see, I'm going to use green again maybe here. Let's see if I can power through this one in a speed drawing. Looking a little large. I'll shrink this guy too. So this guy is actually a draw over I got from something I pulled online that shows off how bending the torso works. So maybe I might do a vignette of just that area here. Something like this. So vignetting is one of the tools you can use when doing quick sketch or studies of any kind, where you don't draw the whole thing, you just pick an area to focus on. Like say you're having trouble with legs, you just do maybe just like pelvises and legs and stuff for a while. Still looking a little large. I gotta maybe zoom in a little bit more when I start these. Something like here would be good, maybe. I think a problem I'm running into is like by the time I get started on the drawing, like 30 seconds have passed. So maybe do some slower ones after this. 3 minutes again. So as you start to get more used to using the method, you can inject a little bit more of the attitude into your starter shape. Like I kind of feel it a little bit with what I chose to do here. Yeah, it's a very JoJo pose for sure. I'm not using any website, these are photos that I gathered myself. I'm just searching around online. I make custom folders out of all the poses I find. And then I run them through the gesture drawing app. This is a $15 app on QBrush. Gesture Drawing 3 as it's called. And very worth it, I would say. So Friday's class is going to be slower, more methodical poses where you'll be able to, in slow motion, really slow down and scrutinize what you're doing in figure drawing and internalize it. And some of what you do there should, by virtue, apply to what you do in your quick sketch. And the following day on Saturday, after Friday, we're going to have another iteration of the animation quick sketch, the animation quick sketch class, where we use existing characters, either ones that we created ourselves or ones from existing shows or franchises, and try drawing them using the photo reference that's on screen of live action figures and stuff. Yeah, you can pick a panel from here. I'm gonna try something strange on here actually. I'll do this. And then let's mix it up with something different here. I think that's the Silver Surfer there, isn't it? We're actually going to be using a Spider-Man figure to draw the figure in future weeks, by the way. This one that I have a copy of, I have a model of, that I'm going to be posing out. That's like a really better than an anatomical artist's tool figure for learning how to draw. I'll be posing him out a bunch and photographing him for a future session. Hey, there's Thor. Why not? Let's keep up the Marvel superhero thing. I did a bunch of the other stuff, so now I'm going to take a quick detour from it. And draw for the different approach. But then I'll come back to it. Arms look a little long there. Yeah, you don't have to worry about the measurements for this exercise. I actually should show some better examples of how to do this exercise. a little bit later from some of like the animation people who do it really well. But you don't have to be worried as much about measuring the figure for this. It's more about just kind of using the overall shape as kind of a containment unit that you can wander outside of to get a figure in. So I'm going to try some of the outside in approach for a little bit. I think it's the first time I've had to ban someone from chat since I've started doing this, by the way. We've been surprisingly troll-free in these sessions, which is kind of nice. So instead of going to this next pose, I'm going to try messing with this last one I did a bit. Spend a little bit more time kind of adding a little bit to it. Go back down to Thor. Even though I got kind of like his proportions on his arm wrong, I can maybe do something like this. Alright, so I'm going to go and do this guy now. Maybe use the softer brush for him though. Start with this. Try to get more of the overall shape. So I'm using negative space here, kind of eyeballing where there's gaps in the figure, and then making little stylized decisions about where to map that in. But I'm not like keeping the interior of what I'm drawing out of my head. Like I'm keeping in mind the structure and the gesture underlying it, even though I am kind of drawing from the outside in a little bit. Oops, let's get past that one. Let's find a good, this one's a good one. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
It looks like you don't have any timer set at the moment.
10, 12, 13, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 16, 18. I think we're about time on this set, so yeah, it's already been 25. We went a little bit over, but that's okay. So I'm gonna call a 5-minute break right now. Okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes. Okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. Starting now.
Some of them are from Google image searches for certain subject matter, like dynamic poses, clothes figure drawing reference, athletes, parkour. Some of them are like this one is from the Russian Figure Academy, which you can find with Google image search. There's a bunch of books from Russian Figure Academy stuff that has like way more stuff than you can find with the Google image search too. I've been wanting to get a hold of some of those books in the future. Also, I have some good news about the Asaro head that I've been meaning to order. We're going to be ordering that in the next day or so. I got an email back from the people who sell them. Here, I'm going to pause on this guy for our break. We can maybe start with this guy for the next session. Or actually, we might start another session of 3s. Yeah. For this batch that I've been using right here, this is literally just a folder of like most of the figure reference stuff that I've been collecting the last couple weeks. So this one is a giant wildcard variety pack, and if I get dud images, I just skip past them. It's like better than just like meticulously planning out a folder if I need to like get a class going and I'm not all that prepped. But I do like having like very specific subject matter folders also most of the time. In my case, I need to rest like even today before I got started on today's session. Also, I'm starting to get back into wanting to teach animation again, because I have a better idea of the course curriculum. And the course curriculum, of course, is going to be structured around what's going to give me benefit to do too, because I'm going to be doing the animation assignments along with everyone else. Quickie invented figure there. I normally will be taking the breaks, but I kind of need this because I'm out of drawing tune at the moment, so I've got a lot of nervous energy that I need to get out of my system with drawing drills and just moving my hand and arm around. I'm going to be doing a 3-hour session through the Discord tomorrow, if I can manage it. I wanted to do one of those on Tuesday, but I got sick. And I still got to update my Patreon. We have a new subscriber on Patreon too, which is nice. Yeah, I've got to update that. I've got to update my Patreon so I can, let's see here. Got a lot of follows in the last few days. That's cool. Yeah, if you guys want to support the class, if you got a Twitch Prime sub that you haven't spent yet, you can spend it here and you can get a cool little Astropug emote, which a lot of people already have in chat. If you're already subbed to me, please show off your Astropug emote in chat. But yeah. If you want to support the classes, you can support me through my Patreon, through my donation link down below for direct donations. For the Patreon, you get access to, for $1 on the Patreon, you get, okay, Google, stop, you get access to high quality images in my class demos and a bunch of other stuff. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, hang on, I want to show maybe one thing real quick before we get started again.
My apologies, I don't understand.
So, down over here is a 25-minute drawing. Whoops. Down over here is a 25-minute drawing I did Monday. And so is this, like a 25-minute study drawing on some Nikolai Fechin heads. And this is going to be the direction that we're going to be moving towards in head drawing class. I'll take a lot more of this kind of stuff. And so there's going to be a figure version of this kind of stuff that we're going to be doing on Fridays with 25-minute poses that just get like more time to sit down, think, and like plot out the pose and get the proportions right and so on. We'll be working mainly on figure lay-ins on like Fridays in the future. We're going to be continually working on mannequinizing the form because mannequinization is a tool for you to do your figure lay-ins. But we'll be doing a lot longer poses on Fridays and also on Mondays classes. The quick sketch days are going to be Wednesday and Saturday, and I'm going to be spreading out quick sketch and long pose workshops throughout the week. That will be a mix of long and short poses. It's like side bonus stuff. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
Okay, 25 minutes.
Actually,
and we're starting now.
Okay, Google, add 1 minute to timer.
Done. 1 minute added to your 25-minute timer. You've got 26 minutes to go.
I'm going to set these at 3s. So we got this guy. This is going to be a bit of a crunchy image, a little bit artifacty, but if you're just capturing the overall gesture of it, that shouldn't be too hard to utilize that in 3 minutes time. So I'm going to go back to the original approach I was taking. So I am drawing a little bit large. I might have to shrink this for the page. So I'm going to maybe use the Glenn Vilppu model on this guy, I think. Oops, I actually positioned him badly, so I'm going to do a little cheat here and move him over. Little digital drawing cheat. Maybe I'll do a different color for the stick here. Oops. Alrighty, so this pose I'm going to do a outside in approach, or inside out approach. Alright, now I'll just pick the yellow color for this. And smudge in the negative space around her. A little bit too much, I think. I kind of like how it goes white in there, so maybe I'm going to go back through this and do this on this guy. I'm going to try to set the tone on this page for maybe just doing a page full of these inside out negative space drawings for this particular page. This guy's a little feminine for how I did his gesture. That's okay for this. Just trying to get the overall sweep a little bit in the time that I have. I'm kind of doing this as if I was doing it with a Sharpie. So I've got to really commit to a lot of the line, with some exceptions. But there's no take backs. If I do a bad line, I have to commit to it. So it's forcing me to make smarter decisions that way. Rolling with suboptimal decisions will teach you more than trying to be perfectionist. And trying to be too precious with your drawings. You shouldn't be a perfectionist, but you should slow down and think when you're able to. In my case, I have a lot of nervous energy right now because I'm a little bit out of drawing shape. I'm coming back from being a little sick. So I kind of need to get keyed into that a little more. But the way you get there is by doing your art bicep curls and your art wind sprints, which is what this is about. Bit by bit, I'm starting to feel where I was at coming back doing this. That should be the goal anytime you come back from like a break or a period of being sick or whatever. You should try to, okay, where was I when I left off? And you should shoot to get back to that point and exceed it. So another thing you can do during these sessions, and I'm going to actually encourage it a little bit more, is if you have an existing character design, or if there's a design of a character from a particular show that you like, or something, you can use these quick sketch sessions to draw that character in different poses. That's what actually the focus is on the Saturday class, but you're allowed to do that here too. Like say you get hired to do like a story test or something. You could use this class to warm up doing the use a session similar to this to warm up using the character models you're going to draw for the storyboard test or whatever, or the animation test, as the case may be. I think I made the torso a little long. But the construction is starting to come back in for me a little bit. And I keep experimenting with color. That first guy was a little weak, so I'm going to... Oops. Gonna give him his own folder and keep going with this other approach that I'm using on these other figures. But then I'm going to go back on the next session maybe to the original shape language thing. This is just another version of the same kind of idea, but approached from a different angle, basically. Using the negative space around the figure. So I'm getting a class budget together for these sessions in the future. Also, FYI, I'm applying for jobs now. So if I need to reschedule stuff like this, or if I need to cancel classes, I'll notify about it through the Discord. Because if I get like a story test or something, or if I get hired to a gig, then I'm going to have to restructure my schedule throughout the week. But I'm going to be going strong in these until that happens. I'm going to keep evolving the classes and stuff. And I'm starting to feel like I should feel like I'm almost ready to start teaching animation again. I want to keep going with the figure drawing stuff and get 100% what my curriculum is going to be down and how I'm going to structure that throughout the week. So I think I might do more than one day of animation. Oh, it's 4 again. Let's skip him actually. There we go. I only got so much time to do this, so I'm going to try to keep some of the shapes simpler than I would normally. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
T minus 6 minutes and 41 seconds.
Cool, 2 more poses. We've done this one before, though, haven't we? Let's skip to another one. That guy. Well, no, not that guy. This guy. Hope I have enough room for this guy. There we go. Get that guy in there. Another subject that I'm going to go over again in the future is for a future session, for a different approach to gesture drawing, is the bow and the arrow, which I've mentioned before. But it's an approach to the figure that involves like thinking of the figure as like a bendable bow with a bowstring and an arrow through it. Makes a little more sense if you look at like how the torso bends with straights against curves and stuff. Oh, I did this all in one layer, but no big deal. Came out fine. Maybe I'll add a little yellow under it, just for fun. So I'd love to get feedback from people who've been sitting on my classes. If there's anything that you think I could add to the classes that would make them more helpful for you, or if there's any things you think I could improve on for the teaching methods here. I'm going to go back through these poses that I did previously. I'm going to add some kind of shadowing here and there, and just kind of play with it a bit. I am thinking of doing a focused class group where I actually charge a reasonable amount for each attendee, and then limiting the class size to a certain number. And that would probably not be broadcast to Twitch. But I want to find out if anyone's interested in that. And if I do that, it's going to be a very focused subject matter. And I'll be doing much more in-depth critiques on people's work with those. But I have to find out, first off, if people are interested in that, if enough people are interested in signing up for that to make it worthwhile. And I have to focus the curriculum for what we're going to be covering. So instead of doing the current pose, I actually went back through and touched up a bunch of these in like the last like 3 minutes of time that would normally be used for this pose. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
There's 53 seconds left.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna stretch a little bit. Pause the app. All right. So does anyone have any questions and stuff about what we're doing? Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes. We're all in the middle of class, Saggy, but Saggy's not in the voice. Alright, this is what I got so far coming back into this. I really haven't done an exercise like this in a while. So it's kind of cool to loosen up with something different. There we go, these guys here. Some of the demo warm-ups and stuff. So I'm not sure, speaking of hydration, I'm not sure exactly what I got sick with, but it felt kind of like it might have been some kind of heat sickness because it's been like ridiculously hot here. So yeah, hydrate, make sure you hydrate. Because I think we're in the middle of some heat waves right now. Let's see, how many of these sessions have we done so far? I think that was number 3, wasn't it? Is either number 3 or number 4. Pretty sure it was 3. Like this stuff is all session 1. Session 2. Session 3. Yeah, 3. Okay, we got 3 more to do. 3 more to go. We've hit the halfway point. And any newcomers that are just getting started here, just pick up a pencil and start drawing along to the model that's going to be flashing on screen. We're still on break right now. We're still on break right now, but when we get started again, we'll be able to draw some more poses. I might make the next batch of poses a little bit longer. Like I might make them 5s, I think. Actually, I think I'll save 5s for the last 2 sessions. The next session will be another set of batch of 3s, because I think that was a pretty good ratio to work with. So how's everyone doing? Speak up in chat. Let me know. Yeah, Leo, the orange turtle is very right in Twitch chat. Friendly reminder, don't ever draw with your wrist, draw from your arm and your shoulder. Yeah, I would say that not even draw with from your arm. Like, drawing from your elbow is actually not ideal either. You should be drawing from your shoulder. You also don't want to prop up your elbow on anything while you're drawing, because that can damage the nerve ending that runs under your elbow. You want to have like full freedom of movement when you're drawing with your arm, wherever you're drawing, even if it's on like a small sketchbook. You want like to clear out the space around where your arm can move. Don't lean your elbow on a desk when you're drawing ever. It'll hurt the nerve ending there. If that gets bruised, it will result in like some really bad hand problems. If you have a tiny portable Wacom, make the best do that you can, but keep same thing though. You can even on a tiny portable Wacom, you can use your shoulder. You just use it in microform. You use it for small movements. You should be keeping your hand loose. You shouldn't be pressing down with your hand. You should be keeping your hand loose, holding the pencil, and keeping a light touch when you're drawing. I'm starting a drawing class this semester with little to no art experience. Any advice to not feel terrible? Read the Draw a Box website curriculum. Read their lessons, read them, and do what they tell you to do on the Draw a Box site. The Draw a Box site goes over drawing fundamentals and how to practice them. It's very important that you read the text when you do them. The drawabox.com site. I've said before that I'm thinking of actually running a Draw a Box class session in the future of some kind for drawing fundamentals for people, because I know there's a lot of people who have not like really taken the time to sit down with the materials on that site. What that site is it the site Draw a Box makes it sound like it's just like, oh, you're just supposed to draw a lot of boxes. No. Read the site's curriculum. Draw a Box is just the name of the site. It's kind of a misnomer. The site is the site should more be accurately called like Fundamentals of Drawing in Free Art Class form or something. I don't know, because that's what it's all about. The stuff you learn there, they don't really teach you figure drawing there, but they do teach you the building blocks of stuff that you will use in figure drawing. So as my muscle memory is starting to come back, I'm starting to remember stuff like the limb skeleton right here. Our good buddy that we practiced in a previous week. I'm going to be basically resurrecting the limb skeleton for the end of this, for the remainder of this session for myself. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer? Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
It looks like you don't have any timer set at the moment.
Well, screw you. We're just going to go straight into... She did that stupid thing where she didn't set the timer, even though I clearly told her to. So this guy on the left here is a Luna skeleton, and I'm going to be using him for some of the drawings that I'm going to be doing next. I'll be using the coloring technique I've been using. So we're going to continue with 3s for this session, and then we'll probably do some 5s. So we'll go with this guy here. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes, starting now.
Oh, gotta change the focus. There we go. Gotta remember, Luma skeleton, Luma skeleton, Luma skeleton. I'm going to use the Luma skeleton. The key components of the Luma skeleton are these kind of disc shapes. And it's sort of a cape-like thing that hangs over the egg of the rib cage. For like the shoulder shape, kind of. So this is some of the mannequinization practice that we've been doing in figure drawing class that I'm kind of getting warmed up on here, that I want to maybe use, possibly for the rest of the session, but we'll see. And combine it with the shape stuff that we've been doing. Let's see, what color should I pick? Let's go with yellow. There we go. This is a really nice figure drawing. This is an example of a lay-in pose that's had the shadow pattern and a little bit more detail beyond a lay-in pose put on it. But this guy is an example of where we're going to be moving for our Friday figure drawing class. Like longer poses of stuff kind of like this. Like where we spend a full 25 minutes on the lay-in before we even add any shadow. We might do multiple sessions on a single pose to work up to the shadow patterns and stuff. Really depends though. A lot of people in here have not had any experience previously doing 25-minute poses, so that alone will be a challenge for a lot of people. So I'll kind of figure out how to pace that out. But it is challenging and it is hard for newcomers to sit down for that full 25 minutes and really slow down and pay attention. And that's why you want to do it, and do a lot of it. you do that, and the information you learn from doing it goes back into what you do with your quick sketches in shorthand form. You slow down to learn. The pattern is usually slow down to learn something and then speed up to use it in shorthand. But it's a good idea sometimes, not always, but sometimes it's a good idea to close out a long pose session with a little bit of quick sketch. Kind of loosen up a bit. There we go, that's as far as I got on that one. I'll add some negative space color in them later. I sort of wandered from doing the Luna skeleton, so I'm going to bring it back on this guy. Get an egg-shaped ribcage there. Side disc. Two side discs, because we can see some of the buttocks. So it's kind of at a tilt towards us a little bit. Which website are you taking reference from? You mean the photos that I have on screen? Not anyone in particular. I find these online through Google and Google Image and Pinterest searches. I just spend a lot of time yoinking these and finding ones that I think would be good to practice from. We didn't have as many people showing up for this class session as usual. I'm gonna have to maybe find some ways to attract people to show up, and mixing up how I run these classes so they're more engaging. But good on you, all of you here, getting the art workout in, not being lazy bones like them, sticking with this, and actually putting in effort. Clock in a little bit of mileage. Yeah, I'm gonna maybe try to find out like people who've attended previously who haven't been attending my classes recently. Try to find out what's up with that, folks. So I want to find out how I can get people to come and sustain them. Thank you all, the 20 or so people that are in chat here who have stuck around for this session. Just sticking around helps support me. I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. Saturday is 2:30 for 3 hours, like 2:30 to 5:30, I think. Yeah. The way it goes right now is Monday's head drawing, Wednesday's gesture drawing, Friday is figure drawing, long pose, anatomy stuff, and Saturday is animation gesture drawing, focused on animated character drawing. Which is like an opportunity to kind of apply some of the stuff that we're doing in these sessions to like actually the kinds of characters that we'd be called on to draw for like jobs and stuff, or our own character designs or whatever. I'm thinking of merging some of that stuff into this session, like sprinkle it throughout the week. I wandered a bit from doing Loomis Skeleton. I'm going to wander back to it again. If you want to know what the Loomis skeleton is, just do, maybe I can show it during the break if people want to see, but it's just Google image search Andrew Loomis skeleton mannequin, or Andrew Loomis skeleton, and you should get some examples of the Loomis skeleton. But it's a simplified way to approach mannequinizing the human figure. And there's one artist in particular that I know uses Loomis skeletons pretty extensively in everything he does, named Matt Rhodes, whose work I've gone over before here. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
T minus 11 minutes and 14 seconds.
Cool. Matt what? Oh, Matt Rhodes. Let me link him in for you real quick. But just like search through his body of work, you'll see tons of examples of like his process drawings, where he uses Loomis skeletons and Loomis heads, and Andrew Loomis skeletons and Andrew Loomis heads. It's pretty great. That's an interesting bit of cosplay right there. Let's see what we can do with that. Cyberpunk 2077 cosplay. I found a bunch of really nice stuff of it. Oh good, my core temperatures on my computer are surprisingly lower than I thought they would be right now. My idle temperature is a little bit high lately, but right now they're about where they should be for how much stuff I'm running right now. So in the time that I have in this run, I've sort of resolved to do some, including some of the side planes of some parts of the body and some of the big shapes without overdoing it. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
There's 6 minutes and 53 seconds left.
Nice. Some pretty nice poses here. You can play with design like kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just mucking about with a different way to present the color behind them. But how's everyone feeling about this exercise, by the way? I'm curious. The 18 intrepid drawing adventurers that are still stuck with me on this. Be cool to start pulling in better viewership numbers in the future, but I'm happy with just having a small group of dedicated people that are willing to stick with this stuff. And if people are going to do that, then I'm probably going to start doing feedback and critique on stuff in the future more. There's a lot of paper in this exercise. Yeah. Try to maybe set some rules for yourself about how big you draw on the page, so it doesn't take up so you don't use up so much paper, and so you can try to design a page. Like you try to fit, like sort of what I'm doing a bit, where you try to see how like each of the poses fits onto the page. So you exercise a little bit of your, in addition to like your figure drawing skills, you exercise a little bit of your design sense while doing these on the side. So if you guys do want to support what I do here, I'm currently like trying to figure out how I'm actually currently working on like maybe getting a budget together from these classes to actually take a class myself, like Concept Design Academy or some other Brainstorm Academy or Watts Atelier or something. Just one class that I'll be enrolled in that will help improve me and ground me and my teaching methods a little better. Here's a closed figure that you can play with. Just because he's clothed and you can't like make out exactly where his limbs are, doesn't mean you shouldn't try to exercise some figure drawing. Just use what you know about hip tilts and things like that to plot in kind of an approximation of his pose underneath the fabric that he's wearing. So I'm curious, would anybody in here be interested in some kind of a private class type thing run by me, where everyone pays a reasonable amount? I don't know, something not too obscene. To participate in a weekly class meeting where I critique homework and we do a drawing session together, a drawing and study session together for 3 to 6 hours, something like that, probably 3 hours. One to 3 hours. I'll figure that out. Could be depending on the price. Yeah, I might use like tutoring models. Yeah, I want to make something reasonable. Reasonable and affordable. Like the labor cost that you'd be paying me for would essentially be me gathering the materials that we study from and dispensing them and breaking them down, and offering what knowledge I do have for being able to help you with demos and stuff. I think we're pretty. Oh, here, let me. Actually, this page shows off a pretty good example of like the principle I'm talking about here that we've been doing at this gesture drawing class. Look at this. Like they've broken down the panel compositions by like basic shapes. Like that's essentially the function of this exercise. of trying to think of how the figures occupy space in terms of like a basic shape. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 6 seconds remaining.
So I'm going to pause it here. We are at a break. But you can take a peek at this page and it'll kind of maybe give you a good idea of what I was talking about. I'll maybe put up on screen a better example of what I was talking about with today's exercise. Okay, Google, stop. But here's something that's more in the more in line with like what I'm talking about with someone who's a little bit more in tune with how this should be approached. I'm gonna put up on screen real quick. I can get it over there. So this is one of the students for Alex Wu's gesture drawing class on schoolism. And this is essentially a version of the exercise that I've been having us do today. Here, I'll turn off the gesture drawing app. There we go. So that's a so this is a little bit more kind of advanced, like cartooned version of what I'm talking about. This is something that you would more do after you get like really kind of loosened up with the figure and stuff and are ready to kind of cartoon it and push what it's doing and so on. Like I'm doing a little bit more realistic and constructed stuff because I'm trying to get back into drawing shape. So my examples look a lot more like this, and I was drawing the interior first before adding like the color shape, which is another way to approach it. But yeah, this is essentially the same exercise right here, just not done in the same way. What about some kind of discordant sentence? Someone said. Yeah, maybe. I need to create my own Discord for that. If I do, there'll be like a class critique section in the Discord or something, like where if you are a patron or whatever, then you get priority or something. I wonder if there's a way to link that with Twitch as well. I think there should be. Like if you're subbed to me on Twitch, or if you're supporting me on, or if you're subbed to me on Patreon, then you should be able to get that benefit or something. I don't know. Yeah. Be nice if I could link the. It'd be cool if like if we had like some kind of an all-in-one system, you know, like if you subscribe to me on Twitch, you also subscribe to me on my Patreon or some shit. It'd be cool if there was like an elegant all-in-one solution like that. Yeah. These classes are about 3 hours a time, because that's the optimal amount of time to practice a piece of information and learn it. How many more sessions do we have here? God, that was... Our quitting time is supposed to be 8:30. Okay, Google, set timer for 3.5 minutes. Okay, Google, set timer for 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Second timer for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Starting now.
Okay, Google, how much time left on timers?
You have 2 timers. The 3-minute and 30-second timer is running with 3 minutes and 21 seconds remaining, and the 3-minute and 30-second timer is running with 3 minutes and 29 seconds.
Something both pretty close. So we've done 4 Pomodors till now, so that means we got 2 more sessions, I would say. Let's maybe do like 2 sessions of 5s. Okay, I'm gonna get the gesture drawing app up on screen. I'll maybe like shrink that in the background so you can kind of see an example of what to do or something. If you can't sit like that for long, then it's a good idea to like get up and stretch. The 5-minute breaks are there for you to are there for you to get up and hydrate and stretch and so on between the sessions. Of course, I haven't been getting up for my sessions because I'm like getting back in drawing shape, so I'm just kind of using almost every minute I have to sketch here to get my hand back in tune a little bit. I normally would be taking paced out breaks, but I'm trying to get myself a little bit juiced up, you know. So tomorrow I'm going to be building on what I've done today, this evening, with some more quick sketch, and I'll probably lead into some longer drawings. I'll do a live figure session through the Discord that people can come in on. If there's a good amount of people, I might stream to Twitch. But yeah, should definitely show up for that if you want some extra drawing mileage. It'll be the same time as my usual classes of 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. But it's going to be mostly uninstructed, and it's just more drawing mileage of like practice more of this stuff, basically. And Friday we will be doing mannequinized figures, working on trying to get the basics of figure lands with longer 25-minute poses and stuff. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for... Oh, hang on.
All right, for how long?
Okay, Google, stop.
No problem, nothing's been set.
Where's my gesture drawing app? There it is. Okay, so I'm going to restart it and set it for 5s. That's a good pose to do a 5-minute of. Okay, Google, set timer 25 minutes.
Okay, 25 minutes. Starting now.
I do. It's out of date, but there is some pretty decent stuff in it. I can show it later in Discord. Like, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get myself in good drawing shape so I can update my portfolio. I'm not quite where I need to be just yet for doing that. I'm doing a lot of art fundamentals practice lately to work up my confidence and my cognition and my stamina and my pacing, my ability to do art. And that's partly what these classes have been. These classes have been a means for me to basically do an extended study group with everyone. Yeah, a lot of Marvel poses are pretty good to use because they're very clear. They're very clear and they're very pushed. Like, no normal person would stand like this. But this looks cool, doesn't it? So I'm going to throw out some numbers real quick to like get a ballpark estimate of like what kind of pay for like a weekly class session with like, oh, I don't know, 6 to 10, 12 people total maybe. Whatever would be a reasonable class size that I could manage. But I'm going to throw out some numbers like for a 6 with like per session on a per session basis would $15 be good? I think that might be a bit much because that adds up from week to week. So that's 15 for like a whole month. Of that kind of adds up. So that might be a bit steep for some people. Maybe I should take like the model of like existing professional classes and cut it in half or to about a third or something. So I'm an amateur teacher, so my skill level of teaching and stuff should maybe be reflective of that. So let's see. If Brainstorm Academy charges about $800 for, I think it was like a 12-week session? Or it was either 12 or 10. This is very expensive. If they charge that much, then maybe I should cut that down to around a quarter or a third or something. And then consider it by a week-to-week basis or something. Okay, how much is 800? Okay, Google, how much is 800 divided by 10?
The answer is 80.
Ooh, $80 per week would be way out of the ballpark for most people here. Let's try maybe. Let's see how much 5 adds up to. Okay, Google, what's 5 times 10? Oh, 50.
The answer is 50.
So 5 or 10 would come out to around $50. But if I'm teaching a class full of students, multiple people, well, I would want to maybe estimate the class size should be somewhere around 4 to 6 people per class, and I should give a good enough time to give proper critique and do workshop with people, like personalized workshop stuff. This is all hypothetical at this point because I need to, because beyond the pricing, I need to think about what I'm actually going to be teaching for these. Is it going to be animation? It's going to be figure drawing? I don't know just yet. I need to teach something that I know I'd be able to give good value to whoever I'm teaching first, because I'm not going to rush into this until I have a good idea of how I'm going to do it. Ideally, I'd want to start doing it after I start taking some other classes somewhere, because that'll help me get a good head on my shoulder. Oh, we've done this guy before, haven't we? Well, this would be a good opportunity to practice the full 5 minutes on him. I sort of did an invented figure based on him just now, but I got about 2 minutes left, so I'm going to do a quick sketch of Loomis skeleton on him. I should talk to the other instructors in our Discord about ways to make these classes more engaging too. I hope people are getting a good art workout doing this, but this is art weightlifting that we're doing right now. So that can be a little dull for some people. And I want to try to figure out strategies to kind of Tom Sawyer it more to make it more fun. One of those is which is definitely a winner, was last week's animation gesture drawing class. That one was really fun. I'm looking forward to doing more of that next week. Please do something about the stream quality options. If you can look up for me how to fiddle with that, I can do it. Just post it in the Discord. So this is a page of Glenville Pooh stuff showing off how to utilize box forms and organic forms together. So it's a good opportunity to practice a little bit of that. We're going to be getting more into Glenville Pooh stuff in the future too. Yes, you had stream quality options, but I don't know why it's not available now. Well, I have a feeling I know why that is. It's something on your end and not mine. Like, is anybody else, when they click like the little gear icon or whatever, the stream quality option, is anyone here able to change the stream quality options? That one guy has been struggling with that every time he's been here. Like, he's not able to lower the stream quality for himself. Only 1080p for me too. Let me look up. Yeah, it might be something. There's a YouTube for it, mind you. I'm going to try to do a closed caption on it so I see what I'm supposed to do. Oh, there's a transcode option that you have to petition Twitch to enable. Okay. So there is some kind of runaround I have to do with the with Twitch itself. I have to contact Twitch before I can enable that, I believe. It's good to know. I'll look into that some more a little bit later. But like, it's available for partner streams, but for affiliates, you have to contact Twitch and ask about that. Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can get it to work, but I mean, there's no guarantee on whether Twitch will even approve it back or whatever. I'll dig into it some more. Maybe there might be something they added recently where you can toggle that. Oh, we're gonna skip that. It's on a good 5-minute pose. I think that one's actually, well, no, that one's a little weird. We did this one previously, so let's trying to find a good fresh one. This one might be a good... That one's a good one. I'll do this one. Starting to repeat some of the poses from my other classes too in this, which is okay, but tomorrow I'm going to have to hunt for some new poses, I think. I'm looking forward to that feeling I was getting before I got a little bit sick on Tuesday. Get clocking in the mileage every day. So I'm going to definitely be doing another 3-hour workshop type thing tomorrow. That one will probably be through the Discord instead of Twitch. But I'm going to try to mix it up with some longer poses in there if possible. The longer poses are something that we haven't been doing too much, that we just started doing recently, and the value of them is pretty important. It's forcing you to slow down and think about what you're doing. Winds up helping you a lot with like even your quicker stuff if you're doing animation. Yeah, it'll be 5:30 again. If it changes time, I'll let people know. If I do a second one, like if I do 2 of them that day, then I'll do another one earlier before that or something. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
5 minutes and 55 seconds to go.
Okay, Google, add 30 seconds to timer.
Done. 30 seconds added to your timer.
Get a little exhausted right now. I'm still kind of feeling the fatigue from yesterday a bit. That's okay. I'll get my stamina back up in no time. Just gotta make sure I stay hydrated and I keep the temps cool in here, so I don't get. I'm pretty sure it was heat exhaustion that hit me on Tuesday. See if I can insert a little bit of more information into this from the gesture sketch I did. I thought space was cold. Well, you thought wrong. I mean, it's absolute zero outside the space capsule, but inside it's going to be roasting hot from a combination of the temperature control, body temps, and the sun beating down on the sun, basically baking like. Because, like, yeah, there is, I mean, like, if you go up in space, you're going to, like, freeze at absolute zero and stuff, but you're also going to be bombarded by, like, an incredible amount of solar radiation. That's why, like, when you're out walking on, like, a spacewalk in a spacesuit, it gets insanely hot. And also you can get roasted inside your spacesuit if you go out and do a spacewalk at certain hours of the day when the sun is at a certain angle around the globe. Like, you want to stay in the spacewalkers generally stay kind of in the shadowy side of these spacecraft that they're on a spacewalk out from. There's actually a really cool story about an astronaut who was doing some outside maintenance on a space. This is a true story, by the way. He's doing some outside maintenance. Okay, Google, stop. Pause it here. Okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes.
5 minutes, and that's starting now.
So there's this story about this astronaut who actually gave this. The astronaut gave the story himself. Of he was out doing some maintenance on like the International Space Station. And he had to get back inside because the sun was going to come up and basically blast him with solar radiation and cook him inside a spacesuit. But like, what was going on was the hatch. That's the reason why he's able to see. The reason why he's able to see shit, by the way, is because of the ambient light that's coming from other stars and stuff, and reflected off the surface of the Earth. But anything that's facing away from the light is just like completely pitch black in space. Like, there's no reflected light from the atmospheric reflection or whatever. when in shadowy areas in space, because there's no atmosphere to bounce the light off around inside of. So what happened was like the hatch that would open normally wasn't opening, so he had to go around to a different hatch. And it was a race against time to do it, or he'd be cooked alive in a spacesuit. And he had to basically like do some kind of like blind hand engineering work to open the hatch. I forget what he exactly had to do, but it was like some rewiring shit or something in order to open up the other hatch. And the hatch was in an area that was completely subsumed in black, so like completely pitch black. Like you go from this like lit area of the of the side of the space station to like just completely black. Like you walk into just blackness, basically. So he had to do it blind, and he luckily made it inside. Well, he obviously made it because he made it to tell the story, but it was like the scariest moment in his entire life. Like, space wants to fucking kill you. The sun wants to fucking kill you. There's a bunch of shit that's keeping it from killing you, like our atmosphere and stuff. But you don't fuck with space. There's a lot of like kind of Murphy's Law rule stuff that astronauts have about how things can go wrong, and how like how astronomically deadly space is. Yeah, space is extremely savage. If you want a taste on Earth of just how savage space is, try living in Antarctica. Basically, like those people who say, "Oh, we're going to colonize Mars," well, we can't even really fucking properly colonize Antarctica right now because of just how fucking insane it is to even even consider living down there. Like those science fiction fantasists just saying, "Oh, we don't have to worry about the problems on Earth. Well, we can just go to planet B." There is no planet B. Like people have drastically underestimate like just how many conditions we take for granted on Earth that let us survive here. Yeah, not yet, of course, but in terms of like actually making like fucking Mars hospitable, or like Mars bases and shit, or even moon bases for that matter, we are nowhere near what we need to actually make that viable. Like not remotely. But that's not stopping a lot of idiot billionaires from like pouring money into space, into like space program type shit, where they actually like, do have the idea in their heads of like, oh, we don't have to worry about fossil fuel stuff. We're just gonna escape the planet. Probably not gonna happen. Plus, if we had that solved, we'd know enough about like how to stop climate change that that we wouldn't really even need to worry about moving off the planet. Yeah, humans are basically completely crazy for wanting to go into space. That is true. Okay, Google, stop. I mean, like, our extraterrestrial travel should mainly be confined to, like, practically speaking, should be confined to sending out probes and shit. Like, actually traveling to other, like, galaxies and solar systems and shit, that's just, like... That's still, like... I mean, like, it'd be cool if we could find a way to make that work, but that is really very much the realm of fantastical science fiction right now. And probably will be for the rest of our lifetimes. And well beyond after our lifetimes. Because there's just, like, so many, like, practical considerations involved with that. Just the sheer scope of the distance. But just don't make it really viable. Okay, so, okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes. Starting now.
So we're going to muscle through this last session here. This will be a good beefy boy breakdown right here. So I was feeling fatigued, but fuck it, I'm going to push myself. He was born in the wrong generation. Well, try a few, like, 1,000 years or something, and maybe we might start to get something reasonably approaching viable space colonization. But right now, it is not looking like viable at all. And like, it also comes down to practicality. If there's like no practical way to actually do that, then it doesn't matter how much ingenuity mankind has. Like, I mean, I hate to be a negative Nancy about spaceflight, but and let's be a little realistic here. There's a lot of fantastical thinking that goes into what we can do with space colonization and shit. That is not remotely anywhere near where the science is at all. Yeah, we haven't even properly explored our oceans yet. Or Antarctica, like I was talking about. Explored / learn how to survive in. Like, forget like even living on fucking Mars. Like, if you can't even make the most inhospitable areas of this planet hospitable, then you don't have a fucking chance on Mars. Oh, it is? Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, extra time. Yeah, because Antarctica is not sexy like space travel, even though you need to like practically work out how to survive at a place like that. As like one of the keys, one of like the missing keys to making sustainable space colonization. To be fair, like we do have a perfect test bed in the moon for being able to try this shit. If we do start to get something together that's working, but we're not even there yet. Yeah, we do that, and we're just going to accelerate global warming, I think. That's the big conundrum, isn't it? Fly me to the moon. That's a big conundrum, isn't it? Like, the most rich and powerful people on the planet are just more like self-interested with like wrecking the planet and making it inhospitable for everyone else because it helps their short-term profit margin within their lifetime. And then all of us and our children's children are going to have to deal with the damage that's done in our time. And the worst part is, like, everyone knew, even at this time, that it was completely preventable. So I shouldn't give up my dream of punching an alien in the face. It's not a dream, that's a nightmare, especially for the alien. How would you dream that? Because Will Smith, that's why. Imagine crossing like billions of miles across the galaxy. You get decked in the face by some goober. Americans would probably be the worst space tourists. We are already the worst tourists on the planet. Like, as an example of that, like a lot of European cities and countries do not have a culture of service worker subservience because they have a strong labor union culture or a respect for people even in menial jobs. But like in the U.S., there's Karens everywhere that will like treat you like absolute shit. If you treat you like absolute shit if you don't get pitch perfect concierge service like on the dot, or if and so like Americans will go into into these other countries, France and so on. Like Americans hate Paris. American tourists hate Paris because the Paris workers there like don't take guff from like snooty assholes. Like if you're rude to them, they'll be extremely rude to you too. I think we need some more of that. I think that would be very character building for the Karens of the U.S. if we had stronger labor laws and a better culture of supporting low-wage workers. So-called low-wage, unskilled labor workers is just an excuse to pay people poverty wages. Like, you should be able to make a living as like a fry cook. It used to be like that, but you cannot anymore because wages have stagnated. I'm gonna shift to one that would work better for 5 minutes, like this guy. Yeah, that's a thing too. We have a lot of Latin American people in our Discord community, and speaking as an American to people in Latin America, I am so fucking sorry for what my country has done to Latin America. I am really sorry. Oh my god, and that doesn't even begin to cover like the half of it. Like the sheer amount of shit that the U.S. has done to Latin American nations is just so. I won't get into that right now because that's really tough and painful subject matter. But oof. I am very sorry. Very, very, very fucking sorry. And I wish it was in my power to stop that shit from ever happening again, but it's not, sadly. At some point, the U.S. is going to have to face up to the fact that they're going to have to pay reparations for what they did to Latin America. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. At least not in my lifetime. I'd be interested in finding out if, after the Well, probably we won't be able to find it out until like tourism goes back after the coronavirus shit finishes and we get a vaccine or whatever. But I would be very interested in like finding out about like angry American tourists that like get told off as like, okay, Karen, and they get made fun of as Karens by like snooty French waiters or whatever, so-called snooty French waiters that are really just laborers that have pride in their work, really. They won't cotton to being treated like shit, which is the way it should be, really. You can't treat laborers like trash of any kind. Yeah, when the tourism reopens back up, there's going to be like an epidemic, I think, of like, well, bad choice of words, sorry. When the tourism goes back up, I think there's going to be like a big explosion of like viral social media of American Karens in other countries being very Karen-y. Remember, Karen is a mindset, so like dudes can be Karens too. Entitled, snooty. Karenism is like a distilled example of like people with an outsized sense of privilege. Yeah, I feel sorry for the actual Karens because I know that they're probably getting made fun of pretty relentlessly. But let me tell you this: if you treat people named Karen as Karens, you are being a Karen. See, 200 IQ right there. If you're dumb enough to treat other people like shit because of a buzzword name, then you are as bad as the buzzword name. There we go. That's a good one. I feel bad for the nanny of The Incredibles. Oh dear. Poor Karens. I'm a Karen, but I'm not a Karen. Yeah, more socializing during the classes would be fine. We're kind of winding down on this session anyway. I actually want to do more like, if I can get more people to show up consistently for like non-class streams where it's just me chilling and drawing and chatting, maybe with some people on voice and Discord, that might be fun to do. I want to get at least like a good 20 people consistently in here for that kind of stuff to make it viable, though. Like if we just did like chill and draw stuff where I stream to Discord and we bullshit it in the Discord channel, or I streamed to Twitch while bullshitting in the Discord channel, would that be good for folks? Would you come here and show up? Cool. I'm trying to figure out how I can do some kind of a game day, whatever, too. Repeat that again, I didn't get it. Let's talk about having like days where I'm not teaching a class, streaming to the Twitch while sitting in Discord and chatting with other people in like one of the drawing channels about stuff while I stream the art that I'm using for practice or whatever, or the project that I'm working on. Like if I could get a consistent number of around 20 something people showing up for that, I would definitely want to do that on my off days. It'd be an excuse to also work on personal project stuff too. Like I just throw up the animation work I'm gonna do or whatever, or some of the drawing drills session stuff I want to do. Also, I'm finally going to be ordering the Asaro head. Your donations came through for me, so I'll be able to pick that puppy up and start using him when he gets here. Hopefully he'll get here before the... It's not... This next Monday is going to be Riley Method Rhythms, and then the week after is going to be Asaro head. So I'm going to try to order it and hopefully get it in time for practicing a bunch and maybe taking some photographs. If I can't get it in time for the class, I'm going to like make some special class/workshop sessions. Like we will, when I get the Asaro head, we'll probably spend like multiple weeks drawing the Asaro head over and over again, because it's worth doing that. Like it's worth spending like a month on the Asaro head. We'll mix it up with some other stuff, of course, but I think that getting like a good couple 25-minute head drawing poses using the Asaro head like per session for like at least a month would be a good idea for like the head drawing session on Mondays. But I'm also going to be using it throughout the week myself. I might use it for some workshops. I'm going to try to like set up some kind of like a light box camera setup so that I can photograph it from a bunch of different angles. And if there's a way I can use like a camera phone or something, that would also be good. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer? Oh,
7 minutes and 11 seconds left.
We done like... Yeah. That's been 3 poses, right? There's not been a 4th pose that we've done? Or is this pose number 4 or pose number 3? I've kind of lost count for this session. Where do you get the Asaro head? There's a site called planesofthehead.com that you can order it from. Or you can Google it. Google Asaro head and Planes of the Head comes up. Easy peasy. There it is. Yeah, that's the site you go to order the Asaro head. I would strongly recommend getting one, even if you're a beginner. But only get it if you're planning on using it a lot. So it is a bit of an investment. It's $115 plus shipping or tax. It comes out to around 120 something. Well, the shipping is free. It's the sales tax for California that makes it 120 something. There's also a $65 memorization head, which is also on the site, which is more affordable. That one I would suggest picking up if you can't currently budget for the big one. I think they ship internationally. You can find out from them. You just use their contact page if you want to order, and they send you an email letting you know what the cost of the shipping is to your region or whatever. That's how I did it. Okay, Google, what's the cost of shipping from the US to Brazil?
Sorry, I don't have any information about that, but I found something similar. Do you want to know what the cheapest way to send a package to Brazil is?
Yes. Yes.
On the website parcelmonkey.com, they say, shipping to Brazil. Our cheapest courier service from the US to Brazil is with DHL. You can book their e-commerce track postage courier service via our website, print the shipping labels.
Okay, Google, stop. Jesus Christ. Okay, Google, what is an SRO head?
Here's a summary from the website en.wikipedia.org. Single room occupancy, more commonly abbreviated to SRO, is a form of
okay,
housing
Google, stop. I wonder if there's even a Wikipedia entry for the SRO head. There should be. This is a really commonly used artistic tool. So yeah, this is the fourth pose. Yeah, we'll try to pick a good one to end it on. Okay, Google, stop timer.
Sure, it's canceled.
Alright, let's pick a good one to do for our last 5-minute pose. Oh, I like that. It's very dynamic. So I got kind of tired, so I'm sort of defaulting to like my the way I've been trying to train drawing for the last few weeks a bit, which is fine. I'm thinking that I might do something like the exercise we did this week, next week. But like I said, I'm thinking of combining what I do on the Saturday class with this. This class is supposed to be more about like traditional figure quick sketch, pushing things in that direction, and teaching and practicing traditional figure quick sketch technique, which does apply to animation too. Don't get me wrong. So this next weekend, there's a few sources I'm going to be pulling stuff from. One of them is Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, which has some amazing model sheets and still frames of like fairly anatomical but stylized, heavily stylized character designs. There's some exquisitely beautiful animation in that movie. So we're going to be pulling some inspiration from that. That's what I'm going to be practicing on Saturday. I'm going to be, actually before then, I'm going to be going back and doing a bunch of Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff probably tomorrow too. Because I liked the progress I was making on that. But I'll see. Don't have to do everything at once. Has anyone seen the series Lovecraft County yet? I haven't watched it yet. Looks interesting. Like, I'm loving this deconstruction of Lovecraft era we're in right now. No, Lovecraft County is a it's kind of a I think it's an HBO series. It's a take on I think it's from the maker of Get Out. What's his face? I might have been a brain fart for him, but you know. But it's a take on H.P. Lovecraft, like that takes like the racism that was in his works and then makes that the horror, like kind of flips it around a little bit. Like there's like a lot of the things H.P. Lovecraft was horrified was like racial prejudice, was like stuff based in his racial prejudices, but like living as a African American in the South, the Jim Crow era is like living in a horror film in and of itself. So that's an excellent. Lovecraft was extremely racist. There's some pretty good YouTube videos on that subject. The thing is like towards the end of his life, he had a Jewish, I think it was a Jewish wife. It was either wife or a girlfriend. But he started to ease up on his prejudices. Like the writings he was making were like started to become anti-bigotry, and he was like kind of reconciling the racial prejudices that he'd had in the past. I think if he went on, he would have like written works that were explicitly anti-racist. But unfortunately, he passed away of like what was it, tuberculosis or something. Before like we could see like the anti-racist era of Lovecraft. If that indeed would have been where he's headed. Oh, so I got an acknowledgements page. So what? Yeah. That was a really good session. I am really super exhausted. Normally I would like want to do like a deep dive on ArtStation or something, but I'm about ready to call it here. I will take a quick peek actually at Discord to see what people have posted there in the classroom. Oh, very nice. Seen some good shit. Zouave. Let me put this shit on screen actually. I say shit, but that's really kind of a bad choice of words for this good stuff. So let's see here. Very nice, very lovely. I see someone in here is not a newbie to figure drawing. Definitely. This is good shit. These are looking nice too. Yeah. There's more ways they could be pushed and stuff, but overall this is pretty damn good. Darn. Those are the only people who posted. Well, if you got them, we can take a look at them. But I don't care about how good or bad they are. If you want like a little bit of mini critique on whatever you might be struggling with, there's no shame in posting. Like, I don't give a shit about skill level. I give a shit about people putting in the effort, you know? Well, no, I do give a shit about skill level because, like, I want to get better. But I mean, I in terms of like evaluating someone's worth, like, I don't look down on people that are like less practiced and skilled than others. I only look down on people who make excuses and people who are toxic about receiving criticism. Oh, nice. More good shit. Very cool. Nice and loose. You should be running classes, my dude. Or dudette. These are really good. Take a look at this. Yeah, it looks like you're kind of you're struggling, but you're trying to put stuff together. I'd say concern yourself more with the overall gesture and flow of the figures you're doing, and also you might want to measure like from the top of the head to the pit of the crotch, and the pit of the crotch to the bottom of the feet. So like these calves are looking a little stubby. Like the feet should be down here-ish. If you want a guide on proportions, Andrew Loomis, of course, is an excellent resource, and you can find his books for free with a Google search, or the Save Loomis site, or whatever. Like his books are public domain, so they're pretty easy to find, and you can use. They're pretty handy for proportional reference. We're posting them in classroom chat right now. Yeah, Zovs has turned out really nice, very inspirational. I'm getting excited looking at them. I made me want to probe Zov for how they approach figures, because I tend to like overdraw stuff, and this is kind of moving more in the direction of where I want to move in the future in terms of like I can see them kind of like doing the using fewer lines, but like using them to like describe and wrap over the form and stuff. And keeping it fairly loose, but not like overdrawing it. So there's this very loose, lively feel to it. Yeah. And this is the kind of drawing that is really the kind of drawing you want for Japanese style animation, or the storyboarding that goes into the like action shows these days and stuff. Like this is the type of drawing that I want to move in the direction of more in the future myself. Yeah. There we go. Someone else struggling with some stuff here. I'm seeing some good things in here. Some of it's getting a little PC, like this one's get a little confused by the limbs to limb stuff. But there is some good stuff in there. These are pretty loose and stuff, which is fine. Yeah, these aren't bad. It's good for considering the size that you're doing these at. There's probably like stuff I could do a tracing paper draw over on to show how to handle it differently, but I mean these aren't bad studies. This one's sideways, so it's hard for me to see this, but it looks like you were trying to do like some cartooning stuff using the shapes, which is cool. And you're trying to do like the simple stuff, like you were trying to use the more the animator approach to this, which is fine. I'm trying to get warmed up into it too. We could maybe do something like this exercise later this week or tomorrow, or next week on Wednesday, and take another crack at it again. But I mean, I can't really judge this because it was shown from the side view, but it looks like you're kind of messing with the right stuff in terms of like trying to get those big shapes and stuff. And then you had to look at that that sheet that I had on screen for a little while. That kind of helped you a bit, I think. Playing with this stuff. I think you're doing a lot very PC lines here. That's something I kind of struggle with a bit. But you want to do like longer. You want to pull longer strokes that flow through the whole figure, if you can. So then if you don't do that, you wind up with basically like kind of stuff that winds up like getting really out of whack and jacked up from it in relation to itself. Like this guy's got like this giant torso with these tiny little legs and stuff. There's not really a sense of like his pose here. I would say that like of these, like this one is kind of a little bit closer to how you should be drawing. Like I get a sense of the lean here and the overall curve of the body a bit. But I mean, it was good. It was a good attempt, and you're still trying to practice this week. For you, I would say practice like drawing longer strokes in finding the gesture, like in finding the overall flow of the pose. Like look on my screen real quick. Like it took me a while to get I do a lot of bad habits until I get really warmed up, but and I'm still doing bad habits even after I get warmed up because I'm still learning and stuff. But you can see like I did like these really long flow lines, like trying to find the line of action and stuff. And if I was like more in shape, I'd probably make this even simpler and stuff. You want to use those as like your guideline for interconnecting those three-dimensional shapes you make for the figure. And you want to aim for those a lot. Like you want to, for you, I'd want to maybe like clear out the noise out of your head when you're doing these figures and just like do like really, really simple, almost like Japanese cuneiform figures and stuff. Like the guy that's on screen right now could be something like this. And there, that's a pose. That's all you would draw. And then you'd move to the next pose. And just do a bunch of those. I may actually have people do that as a warm-up next time. So that might keep people into the right frame of mind. Like 30-second to 1-minute poses of those. It's possible to even do stuff like this. Like, let me see if I can do a 10-second pose of this. That's pretty close to 10 seconds, I would say. But like 10-second poses can get even more basic than that. Like they go like this. I don't know. I actually kind of need to look at how people who have done the 5 and 10-second exercise handle their poses, so I can find the right ratio of detail to go for. Yeah, it does look like Japanese kanji. Yeah, it does. It should look like Japanese cuneiform characters. It can be even simpler than this. Like, instead of like a figure that's like, oh, we got all this complex detail and stuff, of like a figure that's like on the ground here, raising their back up and stuff. Instead of that, like for this pose would just be like this. There, that's your pose. And it seems silly, but it actually works really well for like distilling what the pose is communicating down to its essence and looking for that line of action. and it is essential as a tool for character design for animation and cartooning. And also it is essential as a tool for even traditional draftsmanship, because it forces you to really simplify your approach to the line of action or whatever. Let's move that out of the way. I may actually have people do that. That might be a good idea. From now on, for like the gesture drawing class, we should do the Japanese cuneiforms things as one of the major things we would do for like warm-ups, because that forces everyone to not get sketchy and to just concentrate on the line of action, so they can start thinking of things in terms of like the longest axis and the line of action and so on. And it would help me too. It would help me get less sketchy when I approach these. So yeah, let me see if there's any more that we got here that I can go over. There's OBS. There's OBS. Yeah, don't be ashamed at all of any critique that you get. I'm interested to see what you do with the critique. So I want to evaluate my ability to push people in the right direction. So these are kind of... This is looking pretty lacking in confidence, but you are kind of playing with stuff. It's the same kind of thing as the last person, where like... I do see some kind of hints of you kind of pulling together a line of action, but it's not quite... Like the aim is kind of off, you know, or something. But there is, like, I do see hints of stuff that you're playing with some of the right things here. I would want to give more in-depth critique and do some troubleshooting surgery on that, but I'm getting really tired right now. So we're probably going to wrap it up in a sec. But good shit. There was some really awesome stuff I saw people doing this time. We're going to maybe do some more... Oh, that's lovely. All that. Let's take a peek at this artist real quick, because they just popped up on my desktop background. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but that's really fucking cool. That composition and the action pose and stuff. It's looks like they're a 3D artist. Or am I wrong? It's hard for me to see in that second remote. No, they're a painter. But there is some 3D stuff here too. Dang. Ooh. That looks really cool. Look at that swirl for the hair up there. It's part of the composition. I love artists that have like a sense of humor and humanity to their stuff, even though they're doing really evocative sci-fi type stuff. Really cool shit. Check out this drunken horse. Oh, that's great. I love these horse caricature. These are for a game, apparently. That's great. Yeah, I'm glad we discovered that, dude. Well, anyway, so, congratulations. More of the long food. Why does it always mute?
Congratulations! 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 Congratulations!
Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Thank you all.